From Naperville North High School, the Naperville, Illinois Sports Channel presents the Illinois High School Association Boys State Soccer Finals. The matchup, the Wildcats of Evanston against the Jayhawks of Collinsville. Well, it is another one of those downstate against Chicago area matchups. It has happened 13 times out of the 21 times we've had the soccer final. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Lederman. Joining me, Bob Dulaski. Every one of those times when a Chicago team, Bob, has met a team from downstate, downstate has been victorious. Explain it.
Well, it's like the weather. It's pretty predictable. We've got a nice snowstorm here. Granite City's won 10, 5 in a row. Collinsville's won 3 of those. So maybe it'll change tonight, maybe not.
Well, Evanston hopes so. The Wildcats were here, actually, they were here 2 years ago. They made the finals and they lost to Granite City at that time. And this is a team that has an added incentive. The coach is retiring.
Yeah, it would be nice to go out. He's going to go into some business, and his team has done well. A little bit of a surprise toward the end of the season to be here.
Well, for Tom Camilla, he has had a run to the finals that hasn't been too tough for him.
No, the regionals, because the teams are seeded, it was fairly easy. But then when he got to the sectionals, 2 real tough matches against the Glenbrook schools and a real tough one in the rain against Stevenson. Down here, the Batavia game could have gone either way.
Very physical Evanston team prevailed against a team that was supposed to be better than the Evanston Wildcats, but Batavia went down 2-0. As far as Collinsville is concerned, well, they won last year, 1-0 over St. Charles, and they are back again.
Collinsville, again, easy in the regionals, but they had to avenge some early losses. Edwardsville beat them in their opener. They lost to Granite City twice, but they made up for that in the sectional, and here it's been fairly easy for them.
All right, let's talk about some of the key players we might see tonight for Evanston. This is a team, well, actually, both teams are pretty banged up, as you would expect around this time of year when they played 25 or 30 soccer matches. But who should we look for Evanston?
Well, Marcello Ferrigno, I think, is the key man for them. He scored 25 goals. He was out last year. He was here 2 years ago as a reserve. Last year he was in an automobile accident and had to have a brace on a bad neck, and he's just getting back into form, although he's still banged up.
It's quite a story. They were wondering if he'd ever walk again. Here he is a year after the accident. He's playing soccer. As far as Collinsville is concerned, a well-rounded team, no real stars, though.
No, Collinsville depends on team tactics, and the man in the middle, Rick Artime, is their key. Everything revolves around him. He has 4 goals, but the big number is 12 assists. That's where everything starts for the Jayhawks.
Well, that is our time to get started, so we'll be back with the lineup. Well, the snow started just before kickoff. And you take a look at Brett Borum, the goalie for Collinsville. Borum stepped in after Clay Hunter, the #1 goalie, was hurt, and they ran off a string of about 10 victories, and Ron Rowden has left him in the nets. So far, he is a senior, 5'10", 165, and his opposite number, Dan Fainer. Fainer, a senior at 6'1", 160, and we are underway.
A typical tactic to start a game here. Let the goalie touch the ball and get the jitters out. Let everybody kind of line up and see where they want to be.
There's the game temperature, 30 degrees and dropping. The wind, though, makes things a little bit better as it is calm. There was a big gusty wind here last night. As we pick up again, Evanston in the white, looking for Saku Smith, #9. It goes over the touchline. It'll be a throw in, and let's check in for whom. It'll be for Evanston. Contrasting styles we're going to see tonight, Bob. Evanston much more physical, and certainly Collinsville maybe the more technically adept.
Here we're going to see probably something that is a little unusual. Eric Cucci will take his gloves off and do a flip somersault throw in. He throws it 30-35 yards and quite accurately.
Led to a goal in an earlier game. Watch this move. No, he just goes conventionally this time. Still gets it deep down. To Spitz. Right cross.
So much for scouting reports.
Right. Well, he'll do that, though. He will do the flip. Sent over by Evanston.
I think they saved that flip for down in the front third. That one was back toward midfield. He initially thought it was up a little further, and when they backed him off, he decided it wasn't worth the effort just to take a conventional throw in.
Chris Sandrowski will tee it up for Collinsville. Sandrowski, a senior. Mainstay along the back line. Again, little wind problems here, so the ball should carry both ways. Going up to Sean Ellis. Ellis, big kid, 6'4", and it Goes over the touchline. Will be a throw-in for Collinsville. In the purple, Jason Covey, another one of the many banged-up K-Hawks. There are a lot of little nicks and dings, injuries on both sides, as you might expect, going into a state final. Saku Smith, number 9, and again out of bounds. It'll be a Collinsville throw-in. And Tino Galvin, probably one of the fastest of the K-Hawks, number 7. Brings it up looking for Sean Ellis. Back it comes. Ben Eversman tries to get it toward the Evanston goal. And here come, again, midfield play here. Looking up for Tino Galvin, number 7. Galvin again to Sean Ellis. Tries to center, nothing but white jerseys. And cleared out by Eric Cucci. Eric Cucci starting the back line along with his brother Brian. They are a sophomore and freshman. They might sound pretty inexperienced, but Tom Camilla has had him back there most of the season. 2 excellent players, brothers. Marty Bubb with the hat on, over to Galvin, number 7, and Tino being marked by Saku Smith. The left-footed centering kick into Bubb. Bubb with daylight momentarily, but cleared out by the Wildcats. Hard tackle in there on Eversman, and it'll be a throw-in for Evanston Township High School. Eric Cucci will take it, and will take it back.
When Evanston gets the ball in the back, Collinsville will try and pressure him to prevent them from launching those long balls.
Headed away by Galvin of Collinsville, over to Sean Ellis. Ellis, number 17, to number 12. Check it to 11, Marty Bubb. Back it comes to Smith. Fancy footwork by Saku Smith. Looking up in front for Ferrigno. Doesn't happen yet. Back it comes to Galvin. Has it taken away by Updike. And here is Marty Bubb. And there is Ellis on left wing. Sean Ellis, a senior.
That was a nice pass up the line. Player tried to dummy it, and the Evanston defender fell for it. It's just unfortunate it went out. Field is a little skinnier than Collinsville is used to. They're used to a 73, 74, 75-yard field. This one is about 63.
They've laid it over the football field again, as happens often in high school, and it is a little bit short.
Right.
A little bit narrow. Interesting play there by Evanston. Again, let the keeper touch the ball, so Eric Cucci went right back to him. And here comes Bubb again for Collinsville. Bubb at the center forward spot. Looks at for Tino Galvin. Galvin being marked by Smith, taken away by Saku. Looking up for Jermaine Wilkie. Wilkie, who had a goal against Batavia in the semifinal.
Wilkie's leg is bandaged up. He's been hurting for the last half a dozen games, but he hit a ball from 30 yards out and on the touchline this morning to go ahead of Batavia.
Cucci on the throw and knocked away by Galvin of Collinsville, and it'll be a Collinsville free kick after the foul called on Evanston. This is Tino Galvin, number 7. Galvin, 5'10" senior, 13 goals, 10 assists on the season. And Doug Hartman, number 18, ponytail flying, with Wilkie working on him.
He must have been one of the ones who didn't cut his hair. Some of the Collinsville kids cut their hair. Remember what St. Charles did last year when they played Collinsville for the championship? Many of them shaved their heads.
Get a whistle on the throw-in and get a pushing foul called against Collinsville. Evanston, most of the play being forced by the Wildcats early on. We've got 33, just under 34 minutes to go here, first half. Again, if you're joining us for high school soccer, the IHSA has gone back to halves. Floated up toward Boehm. Boehm and ball in the air, and we get a whistle here. First offensive opportunity there for Evanston.
That was a dangerous chance right there. Goalkeeper had to go up, and the best he could do was slap it out of danger. He couldn't get both hands up to catch it.
Mike Spitz, a senior, is going to take the in-swinger. On the corner kick, looking in front, and a goal! Marcello Ferrigno right off the header, just the way they drew it up in Evanston. For Ferrigno, his 26th goal of the season. And it comes with 33:18 left to go first half. And a textbook play drawn up right here, and Ferrigno gets the goal. Evanston ahead 1-0.
Evanston always dangerous on set pieces. Here we look at the replay. Stultz with a beautiful ball. The goalie wanted to go out but had to go back to his line, and that left it wide open for Ferrigno. The cross was the thing that was so critical. If it would have been in another yard or two, the keeper could have committed and gone out and taken it. Beautiful ball.
Coming in the 7th minute, 33:18 left. Here is Wilkie now for Evanston, broken up. And Collinsville in purple, Evanston in white. Evanston now moving into its offensive zone, broken up by Ben Eversman. Eversman trying to save the ball, can't do it. And Rick Artime is standing there with Tino Galvin, Artime number 10, Galvin number 7. And broken up nicely in there by Ferrigno. But again, this time it'll be a throw-in.
They tried that.
Collinsville's first offense looking inside, and there is Dan Feiner.
They tried that short throw in earlier in the tournament, and obviously Evanston was aware of it and wasn't caught off guard at all.
And back come the Wildcats here. Flying across is Rubovitz, number 13. This is Bub, number 11 for Collinsville in the purple. Marty Bub had a couple of goals against Clemente. And here comes Bub dribbling nicely. Updike guarding him, marking him. Bub still with the ball. Good effort by Marty Bub, and the throw-in will be to Collinsville. Stultz, number 16 on the throw-in. And down goes a Collinsville player in the box, and we may get a penalty kick called here or not. Bob,
yes,
check it out.
Yes, like that'll be a penalty kick.
The foul came in the box.
There was a foul.
Looks like Jordan Stanton was the guilty party for Evanston, and now it's going to be a chance for Collinsville to even things up. A lot of pressure on that man right there. Dan Feiner, he can't move until the attacker strikes the ball, and Rick Artime is going to do it. And Artime gets the goal.
Well, he must not have been listening to you. He said he can't move on that. On a penalty kick in the game, he has to stay on his line. Only in the shootout, which is the tiebreaker at the end of a game, can the keeper come out on the whistle. But since the ball went in, the official, Nerio Blasevic.
Now you see the keeper moving right there. Yes. And Artime blasts it to the right of Feiner. And Feiner had a pretty good record on penalty kicks. They had taken 6 against him, and he had stopped half of them, which certainly is an excellent percentage. But Artime's shot was true, and we are tied at 1. The goal coming with 26:31 left to go in the first half. So Collinsville breaks the ice on the PK. And we've got ourselves a new ball game right here. This is Rubovitz on the kickoff for Evanston. Brandon Stultz for Collinsville. And Hartman deals it down. And across the touchline, Brian Cucci will throw in for Evanston Township High School. 1-1 all tied. Boys State Soccer Finals here at Naperville North High School. The snow has stopped. We get a foul here against Collinsville.
We've played 14 minutes, and we're back to square one. We're right where we started, all knotted up.
Jordan Stanton will take the free kick here. Jordan, 5'10", 17-year-old senior.
Watch 19 Smith. I would guess that there's going to be a yellow card on the coach of the Evanston bench for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, that's where Ed Rubin was stationed.
Right.
Right by Tom Camilla on the bench. And there's Nerio Blasevic. And he booked him.
That's Randy DeRouse. DeRouse used to be a player at Granite City. He's Tom Camilla's assistant. He does look like the guilty party there, doesn't he?
In front, cleared out of there. As Evanston picks up the action. This is James Steele. Again on goal, headed away by the defense, hitting the post. and cleared out of there by the defense with Chris Sandrowski making the save. Evanston had 2 excellent opportunities. And there you see Sandrowski now. Got a little Charlie horse, may have been kicked in that left knee.
He might have banged that knee on the post there, making that save. And here will come a flip.
As we take a look right here, the header from Evanston. And headed out of there by Sandrowski against the post.
Right.
Here's the flip from Cucci. Headed inside, looking over there. It looked like for JERMAINE Wilkie, but Wilkie couldn't put the head on. A couple more substitutions coming in. Here's Eric Cucci, puts the gloves back on.
That was an extremely long throw, and there were 2 white shirts with only 1 purple shirt in there. Siku Smith tried to get up over the top, and a little bit of contact in there, but everything will take over now.
Donnie Smith, number 19, a freshman for Collinsville, and Derek Cooper, probably the top player on the club, who's been injured, number 24, coming in, as Ron Rowden wants to get some offense going here with about 25 minutes left to go in the first half. Rubovitz coming down for Evanston. There's Rubovitz, number 13, around Bub, and a hard tackle on JERMAINE Wilkie, and looks like we're going to get another card over here because Nerio Blazovic holds up a yellow card against Collinsville. Looks like against Doug Hartman. That was a shot, and Hartman's got to go out, as the rule stipulates in high school, after the yellow card. That was a blast.
Yeah, that was a serious foul. That deserved a card, no doubt about it. But it was probably a wise foul, nevertheless. Updike can shoot from that range and has scored from that range.
Evanston now with an excellent offensive opportunity just above the penalty area. And JERMAINE Wilkie, number 10, along with Spitz, number 12, lined up in there.
Wilkie asking for 10 yards, and the referee backing the Collinsville players off. It's easy to see what 10 yards is on with the football markings.
Wilkie.
That will be a corner kick, I believe.
Going off the Collinsville player, and it will be a corner. Over on the right side, Mike Spitz will take it. Evanston putting a lot of pressure on. 24 minutes to go exactly here in the first half. We are tied at 1. Here is Spitz. Swings it in. Headed again and up and over the crossbar. It'll be a goal kick.
Collinsville is going to have to do some tighter marking on those set pieces. It seems like it's always getting through to an Evanston player.
There's a look at Jason Covey. Covey is banged up too. He had a goal against Clemente in the quarterfinals, only one he had all season. Came at a good time for Collinsville. Get some good distance on the boot. Collinsville, hard tackle, and we're going to get a call right here. The foul is going to go against Evanston. Looks like James Steele really did the honors right there. Evanston is known as a physical team, but I'll tell you, they played Morton in the quarters, and there were all sorts of yellow cards against Morton.
There were nine cards against Morton. They were just terribly frustrated in that game.
And 1 red card. Seth Shiver, number 20, is in for Collinsville, and we get a foul right here. And it will go back the other way as Marty Bubb gets whistled by Nerio Blazovic. Handball. It's Jordan Stanton for Evanston, with about 22.5 minutes to go here in the first half. A 1-1 ball game. Rubovitz for Evanston. Looking down here for Sean Ellis of Collinsville. And Mike Spitz sends it down again. He's got a man there. Looks like it's Wilkie.
And we got a foul on Wilkie.
And Wilkie commits the foul.
Coach Rowden from Collinsville said he was very, very concerned if Evanston was playing the ball in the air too much. And I think we've seen a lot of balls from Evanston up in the air. And Collinsville's been back in their own end quite a bit of the time. They need to get it on the ground and gain control of the tempo.
Again over the midfield stripe, and Evanston is right there again. Here is Sean Ellis for Collinsville, over to Marty Bubb. Bubb, nifty dribble. And Collinsville tries to go on the attack here with Rick Artime. Artime, quarterback on this club. We get a throw in. as Collinsville couldn't control. Brian Cucci over on the left side. Brian the freshman, Eric the sophomore. Derek Cooper for Collinsville now. Coming in front. Opportunity here for Seth Shiver, number 20, in front. And Evanston Saku Smith tries to clear. And we'll be back with more action. 1-1 tie here at the Boys State Finals. And the ball out of bounds will be a throw in for Collinsville. Collinsville in Evanston territory now. Under 19 minutes to go first half. We are tied at 1. Looking down. It's a steal for Evanston. And another throw in for Collinsville. Shane Hansen now pulls out of there.
Now we're going to run up for a big throw in here, but I don't think they're as long or as effective or as accurate as Evanston's throw-ins are.
Jason Covey looking inside, looking for Ellis, and it's cleared out by Eric Cucci. And Evanston tries to go back in the attacking zone again. Wilkie trying to win that 50-50. And we get a call of offside against Evanston.
Wilkie way offside on that one. Difference in those throw-ins is about 15 to 18 yards. Cucci's as opposed to Collinsville's. We have another conference on the sideline.
The officials have been pretty busy for this one.
The linesmen, since we've gone to a 3-man officiating crew in the last 4 or 5 years, the linesmen have become much more active in assisting the official. They don't just wave flags when the ball goes out of bounds.
Well, it looks like JERMAINE Wilkie has just got a yellow card here. It looks like he probably said something. And there is Tom Camilla. And Camilla better watch it too, because the bench has got a yellow card. Well, Wilkie's got to come out. And Camilla is not happy at all.
And now we have a yellow card on the coach.
Well, Blazovic has got more yellow cards in his pocket tonight.
It's kind of unwise to say something to an official who already has the yellow card in his hand.
Yeah.
Let him put it back in his pocket and make him think about it a little bit. Don't don't dissent when the card's already there.
There's Camilla finishing up his 13th and final season at Evanston. He's already said he's retired from coaching, putting a couple years in at Gordon Tech before coming to the Wildcats. Long lead from Marcello Ferrigno. And Borm is there, and Evanston's playing long ball again.
Yep.
They like to do that.
When they start dictating the tempo with those long balls, Collinsville is going to be in trouble.
Now we got a foul here. Called against Collinsville. Now we're going to have a direct kick. Jordan Stanton, number 22, standing over the ball again. Evanston going to the offense. Right behind the midfield line. Stanton lays it up right near the penalty area. Cleared out by the Collinsville defense. Sean Ellis, number 17 for Collinsville, trying to go around Steele. And out it comes for Shane Hansen, number 13 for Collinsville. On the long run, Derek Cooper down the right side. Can't control it. We'll have a throw in Evanston. Mike Spitz will take it again. No, there is Brian Cucci, number 7.
Sean Ellis on that play was all the way back in his defensive third. He's supposed to be the target man up front. When the counterattack started, he had about 50 yards to lumber to try and get into the offensive flow. He shouldn't be back that far, but Collinsville needs help on defense, so he decided to help out.
Cucci going for Mike Spitz. And Covey clears it for Collinsville. Down deep. Cleared out by Seth Shiver, number 20 for Collinsville. And here comes Evanston on the attack again. Back come the Wildcats. Updike blasting with the left foot. Coming up is Steele. Looking over there for Rubovitz. Headed out by the defense of Collinsville.
Look at all those
Spitz
high
again.
balls.
A lot of high balls close by the goal. Collinsville trying to clear, and they do.
Up in the air.
And down goes, it looked like Stoltz. He did a flip over his own man right there. No call. There's Carvey, number 21. It's going to.
There are times when Evanston could keep the ball on the ground and do some passes, but it's almost they're so aware of keeping the ball up in the air where they feel they have an advantage that they're going to that almost exclusively.
Come on, guys!
Couple of yellow cards on the Evanston bench. Couple on players tonight for both sides. 15 minutes left to go, first half. We are tied at 1. Collinsville and Evanston. The Wildcats scoring first. Marcello Ferrigno, beautiful header off a set-piece corner kick. And then the penalty kick by Rick Artime tied things up for the Collinsville Jayhawks. State championship soccer right here on Sports Channel. Here comes the throw in, and Evanston again breaks up the play. Wildcats looking to move. Here's Rick Artime for Collinsville. Broken up in there by Jordan Stanton for Evanston. Coming back is Shiver, and again we get a foul. And in some pain down there is Shiver, holding his right ankle. And looks like Justin Rubovitz got a piece of him. And we get the clock stopped. And
yeah, that was unnecessary as we on the replay. That's really a serious foul coming from the side, locking up the leg, and obviously doing some damage to the knee there.
Well, Shiver is down and in quite a bit of pain, as you can see. 5'10" junior and being attended to. Well, Sports Channel's coverage of World Cup soccer continues this Tuesday at 7 p.m. from Saudi Arabia, where 1986 World Cup champions Argentina take on Ivory Coast. How about that? Okay. From Saudi Arabia. Now there is Shiver being helped off. Argentina against the Ivory Coast, the true World Cup flavor. Coming to Chicago in 1994.
I think Shiver would like to stay in, but if you're injured and the official has to stop the clock and beckon assistance out on the field, you have to remove the player.
14 minutes, 13 seconds to go. Chris Sandrowski comes back in, the starter. Chris, number 22, sends this one up and looking for Artime. Rick Artime, number 10. Now we get a foul called against his counterpart, number 10, Jermaine Wilkie. And Wilkie, that's his second, and he's gone. Jermaine Wilkie had been carded before.
Jermaine Wilkie is a big loss. He's the frontline man along with Ferrigno for Evanston. Equal number of goals. He has a habit of playing very physically and turning his back on players.
Well, not only is he gone, of course, Evanston is going to be playing a man short the rest of the way.
Watch this foul here. Now, it was the hip. It wasn't the swing of the leg. It was the hip that caused the problem.
And down again goes another Collinsville player. And things are getting, Doug Hartman, things are getting a little hairy out here.
Hartman has to control himself. He has a yellow card from before. He's walking away. There you see that haircut. He did shave a little bit back there.
13:40 to go. We're tied at 1. Tino Galvin will take the direct kick. Well, they'll run up on it. This is our time right on, but to the right of the keeper. And
Feiner looked like he was having a little bit of trouble moving to his lateral movement there, and he does have a bad leg. His left leg has been banged up 3 or 4 times in this tournament.
I just saw Ferrigno there. He's got the goal for Evanston. Now Evanston's got a problem. They are a man short. Eric Cucci now to take the goal kick. Gets good distance on it, but Marty Bubb is right there. Check it. That's Donnie Smith. Smith with the headband. And Evanston sending the ball down. Well, what do you do now, Bob? You're Tom Camilli. Your team is down a man, and you're going to be playing more than a half that way.
Yeah,
and you're
50
in a tie
minutes.
ball game. Yeah.
Well,
52 and change.
He only plays 2 front runners anyway, Ferrigno and Wilkie. Wilkie's gone. He's got an option of either just having Ferrigno up there by himself or pulling a midfielder up and covering.
Smith comes out. Ellis back in. There's Sean Ellis for Collinsville. Collinsville in the purple. Evanston in the white. We are tied at 1 here in a very rough first half.
It's as physical as we expected it from Evanston, and we haven't seen Collinsville use its skills too much yet.
Sandrowski coming up for Collinsville and sent back in by Evanston, looking for Siku Smith. Smith with Covey marking him, sending it back, and there is Tino Galvin.
I think
we get the foul.
I think what you'll see is Ferrigno will be up there a lot, and Siku Smith will overlap from his midfield. They'll try and come up the right side most of the time, and that's how they'll try and still keep 2 forwards up there. And this will be a flip, and it will be 35 yards, and it will be dangerous.
Eric Cucci to do it with 11 minutes, 30 seconds to go. There's a good shot. Whammo. Looking inside, cleared out by the defense. Sandrowski sent back in by Ferrigno. Check it by Spitz. And Evanston offside, so alert play there by Collinsville, and they will get a goal kick out of this. Still tied at 1, coming up to 11 minutes left here in the first half. No more quarter system for Illinois high school soccer. They've gone to 40-minute halves. And Bob, you like the idea, and so did both coaches.
Well, I'm still a little bit mixed. I like the quarters because we still need a time to talk, and it does upset the flow, but my coach told me he wished he had a timeout this year that he could call, and I said, you used to have one. You called a quarter.
Well, it does help build some continuity. I guess Tom Camillo was saying he really liked it a lot better, where you don't change goals again, you build up some steam and you can keep a pace going. But again,
and you know who else it helps? The officials. They have to turn around every quarter, and sometimes they point the wrong way. You really have to remember who's going which way. If they only do it one way for 40 minutes, it's easier.
Cucci for Evanston. 10 minutes left to go, first half. Hartman and Ferrigno going after the ball, and it comes back out. Coming up is Eversman for Collinsville, sent right back in by Steele of Evanston. Looking for Bubb. Coming up, Marty Bubb again with some open field. On the right side, we've got a corner kick. Our time again will take the corner kick. He'll have Tino Galvin with him.
Clear, boys, clear.
And here comes our time's kick.
Away, away, away.
Swings it out right on goal. Headed up and away by Ellis. In front. Feiner is there. Well, they look for Ellis on the set piece, although it was a little too far out from him, and he didn't have much momentum trying to get the head on the ball. He was going backward rather than forward.
Exactly, backward and up, and that's where the ball went instead of being able to drive it toward the goal.
Here comes Derek Cooper for Collinsville, along with our time. Cooper 24. And down he goes, still fighting with Spitz. Good action here, but over the goal line it goes, and we'll have another corner kick for Collinsville, and once again our time and Galvin. This time it looks like our time will take it. There's Rick.
Well, they might try that short one again. No, Evanston has a man over there. They're not going to allow them to do that. Ellis is in a little different spot. He's right on the penalty spot this time. Before he was the last man on the back door.
Nothing happening here. Now they call it a goal kick. Last touch by Collinsville, so Evanston will get the goal kick with 8 minutes to go, first half. There's Sean Ellis.
Sean Ellis being given a yellow card.
Who gets himself a yellow card. I'm telling you, they've been dealing more cards here than Amarillo Slim's poker game.
Yeah, and I think that one was probably another dissent or objectionable language yellow card.
Yeah, the officials have toughened up on that this year, and
it's good.
No argument there. Back it comes, and again, Collinsville trying to get it into the offensive zone. Broken up by Rubovis, sends it down again with Ferrigno and Saku Smith.
Throw in for the Wildcats.
And Evanston will have a throw in. There's a good look at Derek Cooper. 5'8" senior. Banged up during the playoffs. Didn't play much this morning in the semifinal, but he's playing tonight here in the finals. 7 minutes to go in the first half. Still tied at 1.
You see Cooper taking the spot there to try and impede that flip throw in.
Cucci does it again. Right on goal off the header. Hardman was there, and
an excellent stop.
Was there.
Excellent stop.
Well, you can see that Cucci was not intimidated. May have gone off the head of Sean Ellis right there too for Collinsville, but Bourne was right there to make the stop, make the save. 6.5 minutes to go, tied at 1. Evanston again, a man down because of the red card to Wilkie, and holding its own right now. Here come the Wildcats again, looking inside for Ferrigno. He's got the goals tonight already. He's got the 1 goal for Evanston, along with Sandrowski. And Sandrowski wins this one, tries to send it back to Sean Ellis. Coming back from Brian Cucci. And down goes Marty Bubb, no call. Broken up again by Cucci of Evanston. Looking on this side for Tino Galvin. Here comes Galvin. Tries to get in the middle to Bubb. Nice touch over to Shane Hansen. Hansen dribbling, taken down. Now we're going to get a call right here on the trip by Eric Cucci.
There you saw what Collinsville can do when they string a few passes together.
Yeah, that was really typical and well thought out Collinsville soccer.
Evanston was a little frantic down at this end. They actually committed a couple of fouls, but because Collinsville maintained the advantage, they let the play go on as well they should, and now they've got an opportunity.
Our time in Galvin. There is our time at the front of your picture. Evanston, you see, setting up the wall. About 20 yards out. Nothing subtle about this one. Swings it in, and the sure hands of Dan Fainer. Our time went right over the wall, and he was right on goal, but Fainer was right there.
He bent that ball right around the wall. If Fainer did not have good hands, he wouldn't have a nose at this point. It was right head high.
4 minutes, 45 seconds to go first half. Mike Lederman, Bob Delaski, our Sports Channel crew, Jim Corno Jr. in the truck. And right now, we get the foul against Collinsville, Shane Hansen. Eric Cucci way back. There's Eric. Stanton in front of him. Ran right into Stultz's head on that kick, and here comes Collinsville again. Steele tries to check it. That's Updike tries to clear for Evanston. Down it comes with Brian Cucci, and it'll be a throw-in for the Wildcats. 4 minutes left to go. Good look at Shane Hansen. Done well as a sub. Got a goal and 2 assists, the junior. Updike heads it away. Bubb heads it right back. Ball's in the air, which is where Evanston wants it. Remember, they're playing a man down. Marcello Ferrigno here, and they're trying to move again. Evanston, we've got a player down. It looks like it's Ben Eversman who took a shot to the head. Unintentional, and once again, we're going to get the medical squad out here. This Eversman really took a belt. I didn't see who went up with him, but they collided. They butted heads. And it may have been Saku Smith.
It may have been an elbow as Saku Smith went by. Remember, he's trying to take up the slack from the missing Wilkie, so he was making a long run from midfield up to the front.
Well, let's take a look and see if we can tell. They've stopped the clock again. 3:31 to go. Here it is, Bob.
Yeah, it is Saku Smith, and they It's heads or shoulders maybe. And while we were looking at that replay, Mike, one of the Collinsville coaches came out as part of the people ministering to the injured player, said something to the official, and now he has a yellow card as well. And now he's going over to talk to the team, which he's not supposed to be doing out on the field. It's Coach Cosberg, I believe. Is that right?
It's the referee's job right here to maintain control of this game. Now emotions are high, tensions are high, fatigue is high because they've played, these teams of course have played 3 games in a little more than 24 hours. And the official has got to be right on top of things. There's Ben Eversman, probably seeing about 7 coaches as he looks to the side right now.
I think it's kind of interesting with all the cards floating around tonight. Coach Rowden told us Shane Hansen was red carded in the very first game on Friday, and he sat him out this morning because he doesn't tolerate that kind of stuff. It was a yellow card for dissent, and he did not play this morning, and he's in there again tonight, and I think he'll probably behave a little bit better.
Is that adhesive tape you see on his mouth?
It might be.
Maybe transparent. All right, the clock is still frozen at 3:31 to go here in this 1-1 tie, first half. Illinois Boys State Soccer Finals at Naperville North High School. And action continues now. Saku Smith for Evanston, and Brad Albertina is in number 8 for Collinsville. Down come the K-Hawks. Marty Bug being challenged and cleared by the defense. It goes over to Mike Spitz. I knew I was going to do that. Here comes Justin Rubovitz looking down. He's got Ferrigno with 2 defenders there, and Ferrigno, remember, does not have Wilkie with him.
That was a very obvious handball. Very obvious handball, and this is a real opportunity for Evanston.
Blazovic made the call.
We'll probably see Updike on this one.
There's the wall. 5-6 now. Backing them off.
They will run a little play over the ball. We'll see who takes it, but it normally has been Updike in this situation.
There's Updike number 23. Spitz number 12. Ferrigno number 19. There they are. 3 pretty potent feet. Actually 6. Ferrigno trying to sneak it over there to Updike, but Collinsville right on top of the play. And the K-Hawks break out right here. Looking for our time on left wing, but Evanston breaks that up, and here comes Collinsville again. This is Marty Bug. Broken up by Updike. Looking in through the legs of Rubovitz. And still in Collinsville territory. Here comes Evanston trying to set up again. Brian Cucci looking down for Smith. Smith, good move. Going around Covey, and back it comes for Tino Galvin. 1:39 seconds to go in this first half. We're tied. Evanston playing a man down because of red card.
Now that's unusual that Collinsville would go to that long pass. They had even numbers there. I would expect them to keep it on the ground and do what they do better. And they got tempted into a long pass.
1:20 to go. Will be a throw in here. And Covey goes back to the keeper. Borm. Temperature is 30 at game time. It's dropped some, but the snow has abated and the wind is calm. So compared to the quarters and semis, it is not nearly as uncomfortable as it was. Here comes Bub in the final minute here of first half action. Our time leaves it for Doug Hartman. Hartman on right wing, being marked over there by Mike Spitz. Broken up by Spitz. Here come the Wildcats onside, looking long for Ferrigno, but too long a pass.
Again, he's the only white shirt we see up there over midfield at this point. Just one front runner.
His running mate Wilkie red carded, and so that has put Evanston at a man disadvantage here, and they will play the entire second half this way. Final 20 seconds here.
Well, if this were a football game, they'd be heading for the tunnel. We're not going to see any more action this half.
Now Bourne in the final 10 seconds booms it across the midfield line. And we will have halftime activities in just a second, because there is the end of the first half with the score: Collinsville 1, Evanston 1. We'll be back with first half activities in just a minute. Back at halftime at Naperville North High School and the championship IHSA State Soccer Tournament. Joining me now is the Assistant Executive Director of the Illinois High School Association. Nice and warm here tonight. Marty Hickman, good to have you here.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Mike. Good to be here.
All right, the tournament going pretty much the way you figured. Things have settled down. As the tournament has grown, it has stabilized some.
Yeah, it's been a good tournament this year, and a few surprises, I think, maybe in the outcome of a couple games, but overall it's been an outstanding tournament, and Naperville North's done a great job with it.
I got to ask you the question that has obviously created quite a bit of a stir, especially in the city of Chicago, where the public league champion Kelly High School was disqualified by the IHSA because the coach did not attend a required meeting.
Right.
The question is, why such a strict punishment?
Well, I think the reason is, Mike, is that we view the interpretation meetings as being very serious and very important to the proper implementation of the tournament series. And we think in this case there's a past history of not attending the meetings. The rule states that the first year you're placed on probation, second year that your school is suspended, and we're basically following the rules that we've got outlined. So.
All right, Marty, but the obvious question is, the coach makes a mistake or flaunts the rules, the kids end up losing. They win a title, and by virtue of a decision rather than an actual contest, right, they're out of a tournament that they worked all year to get into.
Right, they are, and we don't like that any more than anybody else in terms of the kids are getting punished. But the bottom line here is that the school's got a responsibility, and the coaching staff has a responsibility to attend those meetings, and the schools are the members of our association, and they're the ones that we can sanction. And so in this situation, the penalty is clearly stated. It has been out there for quite some time. They've known about it, or had the opportunity to at least know about it, and we feel that we had to stand by what our rule states. Now, if the rule needs some revision, you know, maybe that's the case, and maybe we need to look at that. But currently, that's the rule that we have, and we felt like we needed to go with what the rule that was in place at the time.
Any idea what was said to the soccer team?
No, I didn't hear, and I'm sure it was a painful time. And again, I'd like to say that we weren't in it to punish the kids. That wasn't our intent, and we hated to see that too. But we felt like we had to go with the penalty that was prescribed by the bylaws.
All right, it's a sad situation. Maybe it might be a message. Marty, thank you for the explanation from the IHSA. We'll be back with first half highlights in just a minute, so stay with us. We continue with halftime. Collinsville and Evanston all tied at 1. Bob, a goal apiece, and let's take a look at the first goal. It came off the beautiful set piece here.
Beautiful corner. Again, Evanston liking the high stuff. And there is Ferrigno right in the corner. Goalkeeper really was caught in a no man's land.
And Bourne didn't really have a chance at all on that play. No. Beautifully executed by Evanston at 6:42 in the 7th minute. And that put the Wildcats up 1-0. However, that lead short-lived, because in the 14th minute, coming back off a penalty kick, was Collinsville.
Yeah, Collinsville here. You'll notice that the keeper does move, which he's not supposed to, but it does go in the net, so there's no sense in penalizing the person once it's already been scored.
Rick Artime to the right of goalkeeper Dan Fainer, and we're tied at 1. Controversial call, but it was called foul in the penalty area, so the penalty kick made it 1 apiece. Meanwhile, 7 yellow cards, including 6 yellow cards, 1 red card. 3 yellow cards, and the red card for Evanston means that the Wildcats are down a man. One of their strikers was ejected, JERMAINE WILKIE, and 3 yellow cards for Collinsville. There they are, boy. I tell you, the cards are flying all over the place.
Right, and kind of the unfortunate thing there is, out of those cards, you see an assistant coach on, yeah, 3 coaches, and boy, that's not setting a real good example, but they're excited on the sidelines. That's too bad.
All right, let's take a look at the halftime stats in this tie. You can see Evanston has got the offensive advantage all the way.
Yeah, they've controlled the tempo with all those balls in the air and getting some opportunities, especially off the set pieces and the long throw-ins.
And as far as the scoring summary, again, 1 for each side. Marcello Ferrigno off the corner kick from Mike Spitz at 6:42, the 7th minute. Rick Artime after the penalty kick at 13:28, the 14th minute. And obviously there hasn't been a lot of offensive action, but this is always fun to watch. And Eric Cucci is the guy who does this and does it routinely.
The balance on the ball as you put it down is so critical. It's not nearly as easy as it looks, but both feet are on the ground as he throws and releases the ball. And that ball's going 35 yards accurately. Watch it right into that crowd of white shirts.
That's the way it looks.
Yep.
The keeper gets a little fuzzy seeing that thing come at you, too.
Right, and the cameraman has got to move a little bit quicker with the focus on that.
All right, second half action coming up when we return to Naperville North High School. Underway, second half action just beginning. Brian Cucci sends the ball down for Evanston. Now moving from our right to our left, and there's a new goalkeeper in for Collinsville. There he is. First stringer starting the beginning of the season, Clay Hunter, a 5'11" junior. Hunter injured early in the season, and Brett Borum came in and stayed for the balance of the season, but now Ron Rowden has switched back to Hunter. Coming back, and Stultz has it taken away by Jordan Stanton. Up, and it's close, and it's a goal. It looks like Doug Hartman with about a 25-yard kick.
Add 10 to that.
Okay, call it 35.
Call it 35. And there's nobody more surprised than Hartman on that one.
Well, Feiner, you can see right here, was backpedaling, and you're dead when you do that.
Watch, here it comes. He just takes a good hard run. I have to believe this ball is knuckling quite a bit.
Boy, that's more than 35.
Right there and right in, right through his hands.
In the first minute, 39-19 left to go. So that is, for Hartman, his first goal of the season. Couldn't have come at a better time for Collinsville.
This morning, they scored in the first 10 minutes of the first half, and I think 3 minutes into the second half. So they come out like lightning.
Well, no assist on that, as you can expect. And looking at that again, that's got to be close to 40 yards.
And that was a rifle shot.
Right on target. There's Cooper for Collinsville. And the K-Hawks now with their first lead. Jordan Stanton for Evanston. Good move going around Sean Ellis. And back it comes with Eric Cucci sending it down. But again, Evanston a man down. Jason Covey for Collinsville. Back comes Saku Smith. And the Wildcats will get a throw in here. Eric Cucci will do it. Tom Camilla made the finals 2 years ago, lost to Granite City. Trying to leave coaching with the state championship under his belt. There's Eric Cucci. Right now, his team trails 2-1 after breaking out to a 1-0 lead.
Here again's that set piece. They don't need more than 10 people on this one. Short a man doesn't bother him too much. That's dangerous.
Trying to clear. Steele was in there for Evanston, and we get a foul called. About 2.5 minutes gone here in the second half. Doug Hartman has already scored for Collinsville. Give the K-Hawks the lead for the first time tonight, 2-1. Evanston now moving to our left. This is Saku Smith. Broken up by Covey. Covey's played a good game tonight.
See, normally putting that ball out of bounds is a good defensive move, but they put themselves in jeopardy every time Cucci moves up for that throw in. But they really miss Wilkie on these.
That light feathery snow starts to fall again. Cucci, good depth on this one, but headed out by the defense. It looks like Doug Hartman, and Cucci again tries to send it back. Bub heads it away, and we get a whistle.
Collinsville moves up very quickly after that, where they really want to get everybody away from the goal, and that's the second time they've caught Evanston back there napping.
Here is Feiner. And again, a whistle back the other way.
For the Wildcats.
Evanston will get a direct kick. Stanton will try to go in Hunter's direction. Stanton looking to the right side for Cucci. Covey breaks it up. Stanton gets it back again for Evanston. Back comes Collinsville. Again, Evanston one man short because of the red card to Wilkie early in this match. Back it comes, looking for Marcello Ferrigno, and get a whistle here. Be a pushing foul against Sandrowski, I believe, of Collinsville.
It was a nice lead pass up for Ferrigno and kind of grabbed him a little.
Ferrigno and Spitz talking things over. There's Ferrigno, number 19. Got the first goal of the game and the only goal for the Wildcats.
Look for Spitz to bend it around the right side of that wall where the white shirts are, kind of shielding the goalkeeper. There it is.
Spitz takes it right into the wall. Didn't get the height on it. Here comes Ferrigno. And the defense with Doug Hartman clearing it away. It'll be a throw-in for Evanston again. Evanston playing 10 men. Trying to keep the offensive pressure on. They have to. They're down 2-1. There's a good look at Doug Hartman, who has the tie-breaking goal in this game.
He took that out of bounds to play it safe. He wants that goal to stand up and be the winner.
He and Rubovitz were having a conversation about, I guess, comparative hairstyles, I would assume. Here comes Cucci, right on target, headed, and just to the right, the header. It looked like Rubovitz.
Rubovitz just missed.
Beautiful play again for Evanston. There's Jason Rubovitz, got the head on it, but went wide left. Under 34 minutes to go here in regulation. Evanston again. Cucci tries to get it up, cleared by the defense for Collinsville. Sandrowski sent it back, and here it comes back in Collinsville zone. And a foul again. Evanston will have the direct kick.
Evanston's feeling confident here that they can play with 10 people, but they're not sure where the front runners are. Siku Smith isn't getting up there real fast, and there's really just Ferrigno, and they can't find him. He's moving from one side to another.
Steele to take the kick. Sent it on goal, but over the crossbar. Well, maybe you want to take a page out of Hartman's book, see if he could just nail it by himself.
It's that one Hartman hit was coming at him, and it was off the ground a little bit, and those are much easier to hit than the balls that are just standing still.
Jason Covey. Plays it up to Hartman. Broke it up nicely, but Spitz could not control.
Hartman a little careless there on the side.
Get a whistle, the foul. Shane Hansen.
Handball.
Correction, yeah, it was a handball, and here is Stanton to take it for Evanston. 32 minutes now to go, 8 minutes gone here in the second half. Collinsville looking to repeat as state champions, up 2-1. Stanton looking into the box. Rubovitz is there again.
Hunter came out of the crowd. He originally missed the ball and had to backpedal, turn around and go back and pick it up in a pile of players there.
Clay Hunter gets his foot into it. Collinsville with the 2-1 lead. And sent down by Derek Cooper. And over the goal line, goal kick Evanston. Well, Collinsville with the lead now.
Mike Darnell back to the lineup.
Here is Mike Darnell, number 15, coming in. Darnell hasn't seen that much action tonight, but he had a couple of goals. Actually had both goals.
Both goals this
in the
morning.
semifinal.
Probably the fastest player out there on the K-Hawk team.
He's another one, a dinged-up K-Hawk, if you will. Brian Cucci for Evanston. Collinsville packing the defense, and here comes Evanston again. Saku Smith, good play, but he can't capitalize, and we get a foul called on Jason Covey. While we have a minute, let's thank our spotters. Mike Tice, a young man sitting out with injuries for Collinsville, and Steve Borg, one of the young players for Evanston. Fellas, we appreciate the work. And of course, thanks to both coaching staffs as well. Tom Camilla for the Wildcats, Ron Rowden for Collinsville. And here is James Steele, ready to boom it through. Cleared out by the Collinsville defense. Sean Ellis in there.
And again, Rubowitz a little tardy getting back up with that offside trap. The ball came in there nicely, but he was 2 yards offsides.
Here's Rubowitz, number 13, along with Saku Smith, number 9. And here is Clay Hunter, brought in for the start of the second half by Coach Ron Rowden. Brett Bourne played the first half and allowed the 1 goal. Dan Fainer, of course, and that's all the way for the Wildcats. About 10 minutes, 15 seconds gone here. Our time sends it down. And Evanston there to break up the play with Updike, number 23. And we'll get a throw in here. Hartman will take it.
When Collinsville builds like this, it's tough for Evanston to get it out because they've only got one front runner to get it to.
Bob, number 11. Saku Smith, number 9, trying to clear. Coming up, this is Stultz, and Stultz sends one through the uprights. Good for 3 points in football, but it'll be just a goal kick in soccer.
Ball got away from him. He leaned back. His shoulders were back, and the ball takes off.
Boy, Hartman's hairstyle is probably just a pride of Collinsville right now. Whoa.
Next to the horseradish.
Yeah. Eric Cucci.
Horseradish capital of the world, I think.
And Brian Cucci clears it out. I never knew that.
Really?
The horseradish capital of the world. Is that right, Mike? Yeah? Mike Tice is nodding his head. Don't forget to point. Okay. Here we go. 28:30 to go here, regulation. 2-1 Collinsville. A goal in the first minute of the second half. Doug Hartman blasted one from about 40 yards. That's been the difference here. Mike Lederman along with Bob Dulaski. Hope you're enjoying the IHSA, the Illinois High School Association Soccer Championships, 21st edition. It is interesting that a Chicago area team has played a downstate team 2/3 of the time. This is the 14th time, and the downstate team has won every time. And for those who are not that familiar with high school soccer in general, Illinois soccer in particular, the downstate area really has an awful lot of competition with St. Louis schools. And St. Louis, of course, is the number one soccer area in the country.
We talk about downstate. It's really just the area at Belleville and Collinsville and Granite City. Those ones that can go across the river and play in St. Louis, where soccer is king.
Well, Granite City has won this tournament 10 times, 5 in a row. Collinsville's got 3 championships. Last 2 years it's had to come through Granite City to get here, and they have beaten Granite City when it counted. Here's Tino Galvin, number 7 for Collinsville. Gets it over to Rick Artime. Artime dangerous on the left foot. Left cross. And back it comes. Evanston again. We tell you, playing a man short because of the red card penalty earlier in this match.
We saw Ferrigno have to make a decision there. He decided to try and play the mistake off of the defender rather than running through, knowing that his running mate Jermaine Wilkie isn't there. And normally he would have played that ball through and hoped that it came through.
Again, we'll get a throw in for Collinsville. Good look at Josh Updike. 14 assist leads the Wildcats this season. And we get a whistle over here. It'll be a foul going against
Greg for the
Collinsville.
Wildcats.
Coming up to the 14-minute mark here in the second half. Stanton for Evanston. They're in white. Collinsville in the purple. Collinsville looking to repeat as state champions. Ball goes over the touchline. And a throw in here coming up.
Might mention that the ball people have done an excellent job here at Naperville North. They're called spheroid retrievers. That's what it says on their T-shirts.
Ah, the intellectual bent. I tell you, when it's this cold, you want to be a spheroid retriever in motion.
Right.
And the kick by Rubovitz on goal, but an easy chance in there for Clay Hunter. About 14 and a half minutes gone here in the second half. This is Darnell. And looking up for Cooper. Collinsville too far. And we'll be back in just a minute. 25 minutes, 10 seconds to go. It's a 2-1 Collinsville lead. Action continues at Naperville North High School with Collinsville in the purple, holding a lead on Evanston. 2-1. Evanston scoring first. Collinsville tying it on a penalty kick, and then in the first minute of the second half, a 35-yard, 40-yard boomer has been the difference. And we get a foul right here. Our next IHSA event on Sports Channel Sunday, November 15th at 9 p.m. Tune in as we bring you the 1992 Illinois High School Association Boys and Girls Cross Country Championships. There they are. Tune in for that. Still 2-1. The action continues. Coming up to the 16-minute mark. And down it comes. Siku Smith after the ball for Evanston, and Chris Sadrowski.
We have to remember that some of these Evanston players are now going to start getting fatigued. Siku Smith is playing midfield and front line. Updike runs up a lot. Rubovitz runs up a lot. And of course, Cucci running all the way from the back to take all those throw-ins is expending a great deal of energy.
Evanston now trying to go on the attack. Remember, they trail 2-1. They are down a player.
Up in the air.
Here comes Darnell for Collinsville, crossing the midfield stripe on a good run. Mike Darnell's got the left foot and overshoots it. Boy, an excellent run by Mike Darnell.
Ball took a bounce on him there at the last minute. The field is really in remarkable condition. They had a football game here, Naperville North, on Wednesday in a playoff game, and this is the 8th game on the field. It's a little slippery and a little soft, but given all those conditions, it's the grounds crew here has done a remarkable job.
Field hasn't frozen. Temperatures now down into the 20s. Got down to 25 last night. Don't think it's quite so bad tonight, and the snow again has ceased. About 18 minutes gone here in the second half. Collinsville again trying to put the pressure on with Steele of Evanston breaking it up. Up it comes to Tino Galvin. And here's Hartman. Hartman saves it over to Darnell. Darnell looking on right wing for Derek Cooper, but couldn't get it to him. Broken up in there by Evanston, and we get a foul.
Cooper's made a couple of nice overlapping runs up from the midfield. They're going to get him one, I think, before the night is over.
Ben Eversman, who was shaken up earlier in the game, is back in, number 9. Hartman is out. Looking for Darnell, broken up by Brian Cucci, and Brian Cucci Gets wrapped around with a Collinsville player and sends it up for Rubovitz. Rubovitz very active here in the second half. Came close to a goal earlier, looking for Spitz. Spitz down in for Saku Smith. He's onside. Couldn't quite control it. The ball went off his head, but an easy play for Clay Hunter. Good little action there, a little flurry from Evanston, but they've got to do better than that if they want to tie this one up.
It's a beautiful pass from Spitz. I think Saku Smith was the most surprised person in the stadium that it came through cleanly.
Yeah, couldn't control it. Coming down is Marcello Ferrigno. Ferrigno scored early, but he is the lone striker now, as Bob mentioned. About halfway through the second half here.
Notice Eric Cucci is not running up quite as fast to take these throw-ins from way back at midfield. But this will be dangerous. This could be tie it up.
Well, Cooper is there to mark him. Here comes the throw-in front, cleared out by Darnell. And Cucci will have a throw-in again. A little farther back this time.
Yeah, I think this actually might be a better angle for him. In tight isn't as good. Right on goal.
Headed in front. Hunter the save. Clay Hunter comes up big right here. The ball dangerously loose as far as Collinsville was concerned. Looked like Saku Smith had a chance for an instant.
All of a sudden it just popped out of there, didn't it? And right in front.
There's Smith. And Clay Hunter just beat him to the ball. So the score remains now 2-1 with about 19.5 minutes to go here in regulation second half. Evanston scored in the 7th minute. Marcello Ferrigno from Mike Spitz off a corner kick. Rick Artime, a penalty kick, tied it up. In the 14th minute, Doug Hartman in the 1st minute of the second half, or the 41st minute, the goal. Here is Derek Cooper coming down.
Here's that run from Cooper. That's what they've been looking for, to break him free, but he pushed it down with his left hand to try and keep control of it, and it was detected by the officials.
They go back to the keeper, and Darnell is there, but Mike not fast enough. Feiner, a short punt right there. But Evanston now with Updike. Cleared by the Collinsville defense. Steele sends it down toward the goalkeeper. And Eversman
Throwing for the Wildcats.
lost control, and here comes Doug Hartman back in. Evanston desperately now trying to get that equalizer, even though they are a man shy here. Here is Darnell, and Mike Darnell will take the throw in as he lets it go out of bounds.
Evanston having a difficult time shifting gears, changing tactics here. They're still trying to go to those long high balls, and without that big wide body of Jermaine Wilkie up there, they don't have enough target people.
Hansen is in, Darnell is out. Mike Darnell again gave him some good minutes, but obviously injured and can't play. Shane Hansen is in now for Collinsville, and a little push off the ball, no call. "17 minutes to go. Spitz looks in the middle for Updike. Evanston going to the attack here. Updike tries to shoot it through. In for Ferrigno, but Eversman is there to break it up for Collinsville. Shane Hansen for Collinsville sends it down, and Eric Cucci will give it to the keeper, Feiner. Under 17 minutes to go here. Collinsville 2-1.
Pushing called against the
Now we got a
Wildcats.
pushing foul called against Evanston.
Evanston is beginning to run out of gas a little bit here. They're trying to do so much.
I will tell you, the broadcast rights for the Illinois High School Soccer Championships have been granted to Sports Channel by the Illinois High School Association. Any reproduction or rebroadcast of this event without the express written consent of Sports Channel and the IHSA is prohibited.
This is about the spot where Bub hit the first goal last night against Clemente.
Well, here's our time to try to do the honors here on the direct kick. Evanston breaks back. Now our time right on, but right over the net. Evanston will get the goal kick here. Coming in, there is our time.
It was a right-footed kick, and he was trying to bend it up into the upper right corner.
Tino Galvin back in. And Craig Brandt, number 14. Check it. Stoltz is back in, number 16. For Collinsville. Coming around, Marcello Ferrigno here. He's got 2 K-Hawks to beat. Tries to go around Cooper. This is Brian Cucci trying to send it up for Ferrigno, and Ferrigno tries to get it into the middle for Siku Smith, and Smith gets tripped up, can't control, and Collinsville's Sandrowski sends it down.
Again, normally Wilkie would have been in that spot, anchored in that spot to collect the ball and shield it, and Siku Smith had to run 30 yards to get over that spot and couldn't control it.
Well, the first half saw 6 yellow cards, 3 to each team handed out by the referee. Nerio Blazovic, as well as a red card to Wilkie. And we get a trip called against Evanston. Collinsville now with a foray into its offensive zone. Tino Galvin. That's our time over there. Our time shoots its right on goal. And a tough play, good play by Feiner, because camped in there.
Good concentration.
With 2 K-Hawks, yeah.
Good concentration by Feiner. That ball could have just skipped off ahead, either for a white jersey or a purple jersey, and he had to watch it all the way.
And down goes our time, and we get a whistle, foul against Evanston, and our time, you can see there is, I don't want to say putting his best foot forward, but slow to get up.
Yeah, that's liable to win one of those prizes. Perfect picture.
Rick is
this would be a big loss to Collinsville, as we pointed out in the open. He's a center man. Everything goes around him. I'm sure if he's not hurt too badly, he's just going to catch his breath for a minute or two and come back.
Clock is stopped, so our time must come out. 13 minutes, 34 seconds to go in regulation. And Collinsville holding on to that 2-1 lead it earned in the first minute of this second half. Dave Kirksey, number 6, will replace our time. And Brandon Stoltz, number 16, a starter, is back in too. Both clubs have substituted liberally. Again, the tournament format, 3 games in 2 days, is certainly demanding, and there's got to be a fatigue factor here that even might override the adrenaline, Bob.
Yeah, I agree, but it's another one of those things. I don't know how they could ever do it any other way. School time is important. We couldn't extend it any. Must have been some problem with that substitution made on the injury there.
They sent Nick Doctor in, and Doctor comes out, so I guess the doctor was not ordered, if you will.
Right. He hadn't reported to the official over there, so.
All right, action continues. This is Hartman. Kicked it from about that spot right in before. Looking there for Cooper, and it's too far. It'll be a throw in for Evanston. 13 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Evanston trails at 2-1. Collinsville looking to repeat as state champions. Feiner gets foot into this one. And Eversman for Collinsville. Sliding tackle by Jordan Stanton. And we're going to get a tripping call.
Throw-in for the Wild Kids.
And the foul went against Collinsville. Huh?
No, I think there was no foul. And the ball went out of bounds, and it was a throw-in.
Direct kick for the K-Hawks.
Here's Hartman again.
On the attack, Collinsville has it taken away by Updike. And Updike working with, looks like Donnie Smith, and we're going to get a foul against Updike.
Yeah, he pushed Donnie Smith. Donnie Smith is a freshman.
And look at Derek Cooper, a turning right-footed shot. Little too much height.
For the Wild Kids.
Well, I kind of suspected they'd get one to him up in that spot, and they did. He just leaned back on it and put it over the top.
Now Doctor comes in, number 4, and here's the replay.
Oh, that was off of Evanston.
1-2 turnaround fire. He had the opening.
Looked good, didn't it, till it went over the crossbar.
Hartman, aggressive play right here, and can't control. It'll be a throw in the other way.
Cooper might have been in offside position on that kick, but it did come right off the Evanston's man.
Brian Cooper
nullifies that.
Tries to send it in. 11.5 minutes to go here in regulation. Once again, the High School Association has shifted to the format of halves instead of quarters. So we're in the second half. Tino Galvin sends it over the line, and last touch by an Evanston player, so it'll be a throw-in for the K-Hawks. Sending down goalward, and Feiner coming up off the line to make the play. And once again, camped on his doorstep was Derek Cooper. 11 minutes exactly to go here in regulation. 2-1 the score remains. Collinsville 11 minutes from its second straight title. Brian Cucci marked by Doctor. And the whistle. Ball across the touchline.
Doctor a little overly aggressive there.
Well, they called the foul before the ball went over. So here is Evanston.
You have to be careful not to do too many Doctor punts, Mike.
Nope, can't do it. But you don't want to be out of practice. Okay, a shove in the back from Doctor, and I tell you, he is making his presence felt.
Yes, he's in the box score.
There's Dave Kirksey, number 6. Good close-up of him. Kirksey, a substitute, a senior, 5'8". Has a goal to his credit this year. Sandrowski sends it down, and off the head of Steele, and the play continues. This is Bub. Discarded his hat. Here comes Saku Smith coming down. And Eversman with him.
Throw in for the Wild Kids.
Tom Camilla giving some directions to Siku Smith. I'm sure Siku would love to do all those things, but he's been out there all night playing, trying to cover for the absence of Wilkie. And I'm sure he's a tired young man.
Wilkie red carded midway through the first half. Down to 9 minutes left to go in regulation. Evanston has a tough climb. Not only are they down a goal, they're down a man.
Throw in for the Wild Kids.
And a throw in. This may be one of the few opportunities they have left.
Well, Eric Cucci has done his flips probably more times than Nadia Comaneci, but here he comes again. Again, it's on goal, but headed away nicely by Doug Hartman. Play continues, top of the box, and Doctor clears. And way down it comes.
You could tell. Notice that last throw in by Cucci was only about 20 yards and only about 6 or 7 feet off the ground. It didn't have nearly the mustard on it that the early ones did.
Brandon Stoltz being challenged and flipping over his Doctor, but Doctor quickly regains his feet, crosses, and Feiner gave up a rebound, but Came back to hold on. Poor Doctor's been all over the place since he's been in there.
Yeah, fresh legs. Feiner had to concentrate on that one. I don't know if that came off of somebody or just bounced a little funny, but he had to make a quick move to make a save on it.
Evanston again trying to mount some offense. About 7.5 minutes to go in regulation. And this is Rubovitz. And we're going to get a foul right here against Evanston. Marty Bubb is down. And this is a shot right here.
Yeah, Rubovitz, after the ball's long gone, he takes Bubb down. But I think maybe Bubb said something afterwards, either to the official or to Rubovitz. And for that, he's being sent off with a yellow card. It's not really worth it. Those yellow cards for things you can control, language and dissent. These young men need to control themselves a little bit better, even though it's a tense ball game.
Our time who had a breather comes back.
I know Coach Rowden is upset when his players get carded like that.
All right, watch Hartman. It's about 60 yards away now. Our time chips it up. Updike, and here is our time again, looking down for Cooper. Cooper again gets it high, but this time way far. Well, obviously, Collinsville feels that Feiner is susceptible to high balls, so they're going to just keep trying to fire him at him when in fact they do get a good offensive chance, and they're more interested now in maintaining their defensive posture with that 1-goal lead.
Right, and even those ones that go over the top eat up time.
Evanston gets its signals crossed right there, and Shane Hansen was in the middle. He will throw it in. Here's our time checker to throw in. And here's Sean Ellis, who's back. Ellis back to our time, who one-times it on the line. And Feiner is there again.
Nice shot, nice save.
You have to wonder about the stamina of Evanston again, with all it's had to do to make up for the loss of Wilkie, if that isn't taking its toll now. And Collinsville may have a little more freshness left, having to cover the same territory with 11 people that Evanston's got to cover with 10.
Collinsville content, if necessary, to put the ball in the stands. That eats up time too. They'd be more than happy to take home their 4th championship with just 2-1. That'd be more than enough.
Brian Cucci takes the throw in this time. And Evanston will take it again. Now, Brother Eric will come and
see if he gets it up a little higher. Remember, the last one from the corner over there didn't go very far. He's running out of gas.
The packet in the box. Cucci gets a good throw on target. Headed out by the Collinsville defense.
That was a
Stanton with the handball against Collinsville, so Evanston will have a good opportunity here just outside the penalty area.
They need their best set piece here. This is going to be their best opportunity of the half.
The Evanston fans starting to make some noise. Ferrigno, who has the Evanston goal, goes right at the goal and hit the crossbar. Still in front. Still around. Evanston saying it scored, and they did. It is a goal, and it may be Rubovitz. We'll have to sort this one out on replay, but wait a second. Wait a second. The official is saying no goal. Another yellow card against Evanston. Looks like it's going to go against Ferrigno. And we're going to have to sort this one out because it appeared as though the Wildcats scored.
There was a lot of activity in there. I guess we're going to have to hope we got this on the replay.
All sorts of action going on right in front.
Evanston bench is quite upset, but Clay Hunter doing a very smart thing. He's got the ball. He said, this is where I got it. I'm not moving. I'm not drawing any attention to myself. I'm just going to stand here with the ball, let the official sort it out. The decision is the way I want it. I don't want to call any attention to myself.
Well, Ferrigno is obviously perturbed, pushes the coaches out of the way.
Tom Camella upset over there on the sideline.
Camella is talking to Blazovic.
Tom better be careful. Remember, he has a yellow card.
And he has really given Nerio a piece of his mind.
I guess maybe we don't have this on replay.
Let's see if we can get a good shot at it here. Play is still suspended. Here we go.
This is worth watching. Here's Ferrigno. It's off the crossbar. Comes in. Oh, looks like some handballs. Oh, there was a handball. Yeah, clearly on Ellis. The ball does not go in the goal. Quite clearly did not. Back to live.
Come back quickly. Spitz fires on. And he hits the crossbar. Actually, I think he may have gotten the goalpost there.
Yeah, he was 2 feet over. That hit the football crossbar.
So to sort that out, the ball never went into the net, but at least one, maybe two yellow shirts got hands on that. At least it appeared that way. And I guess when the officials disagreed, that's when Evanston got more than upset. But you can see the time now running in Collinsville's favor. Coming up to the 3-minute mark here in regulation. And still up 2-1.
Another throw in for the K-Hawks.
There's the Collinsville bench looking forward to that championship trophy if they can hold on here for another 3 minutes.
In defense of the officials, we have to realize, Mike, we've got a camera right down there at a nice angle behind the goal that quite clearly caught that handball.
Yeah.
The officials could have been screened.
Under 3 minutes to go here. And this is our time, who now Collinsville content to eat up the clock, and Evanston's got to go 100-some yards the other way. Our time again, keeping it alive, eating up clock. And we'll have a throw in here for Evanston. If they're going to move, they better do it now, because there are 2.5 minutes left. Going up in front. And again, Collinsville with time to clear. Cucci sends it down, looking for Ferrigno, who's back in the game after the yellow card. Ferrigno trying the left cross. Again, it'll be a throw-in for the Wildcats. Cucci will come up, and if they ever needed a good throw-in from Eric Cucci,
he's just run 60 yards, 65 yards to get up in position for this.
And again, the angle is not a good one for
Not
him.
a good one, and Collinsville needs to be off 2 meters. Drops off a little bit there, but it's going to make it a little bit tougher for him.
Under 2 minutes here. Cucci fires on target, headed away.
That's another corner.
And it will be another corner as the ball jammed into the opposite side of the net. Collinsville trying to hold on.
That was off of Rubowitz and then off a defender right into the side of the net. Fans thought it might be in.
Spitz will take the corner again, and you know they're going to try to go to Ferrigno. Swings it in. Head ball again. In front, cleared out by the defense. Evanston again coming so close with 1:15 to go. Here comes Eric Cucci. 60 seconds left for a championship to Collinsville. Evanston desperately trying to get the equalizer. We get a foul here, and the foul. Brian Cucci. Now things are getting really crazy. Things are getting really out of hand right here. We're going to have some
sorted out.
There's one yellow card. There's a red card. And things are one step away from being chaotic, and the officials have got to break this up right now. Collinsville very wisely getting its players away, and Evanston absolutely lost its composure. Brian Cucci right there throwing the ball at a Collinsville player. After another trip, we'll take a look at this here. 51 ticks left on the clock. Here's the action.
Yeah, there's definitely a foul coming up here on the Collinsville player. And then a retaliation by Cucci. And then Brother Coochie comes up and throws the ball at him. So both the Coochies get cards there. Evanston is going to be 2 men short here for the last 51 seconds. That wasn't Mark Darnell. That was Eric Coochie, number 15 for Evanston, that got the red card.
Larry Shaw is into the game now. And once again, it goes to Saku Smith and cleared out of there by Collinsville. We've got 30 seconds to go. Back it comes. Evanston's got one last shot, and we get a foul here near the penalty area.
Red kick for the Wild Kids.
And let's wait for the call here. Maybe just outside the penalty area. So Evanston now, with 10 seconds to go, has got to do it and do it quickly. Up and over, and that should do it. That should do it. The kick.
Ball won't even come back in play.
And there it goes. That's the end of the ball game. Collinsville, for the second year in a row, the K-Hawks are champs with an ending that was anything but classy, anything but sportsmanlike. And Collinsville has survived the tournament, and they win it again. The second straight championship for the K-Hawks of Collinsville.
Yes, Evanston is quite upset, but they're doing some things that are not going to make
well, I'll tell you, they're coming
proud.
after the officials now, and this is something that just cannot take place. The coaches now, the coaching staff comes across the other side of the field. As you take a look there at.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that that the game has to end this way. It did get out of control.
And Saku Smith very upset there. And there are the champions, the K-Hawks of Collinsville. And the officials are escorted off the field by the police. And there is the only goal of the second half, and that's the one that made the difference. The unassisted 40-yard boomer from Doug Hartman. The final statistics, Evanston, you can see, boy, a wide margin of offensive output, out-shooting Collinsville by 10 shots. But
remember, a lot of that was early in the game when they still had even numbers. And the fouls aren't that bad.
No. But there's the final score. Collinsville, the winner, will be back with the winning team in just a minute. Collinsville 2, Evanston 1, second straight year. Collinsville has triumphed, the state champions, and with us right now are two of the key players right here. Doug Hartman to my right, my extreme right, Rick Artime. Doug, it was your goal that was the difference, and my gosh, from 40 yards out, did you think it was going in when you shot it?
No, I had no idea. I just saw it hit the keeper's hands, and it hit the net, and just everybody went nuts.
Everybody sure did. Rick, congratulations. You, of course, had the other goal on the penalty kick. Describe this game for us, will you?
Oh, it's a great game. You know, it was the repeat. This year I'm being a senior. You know, I played last year also, but you know, it's just great this time. You know, being a senior, we weren't expected to even make it out of our sectional. We stuck together, played hard. We came out here, played hard, and you know, we just played our hardest, and you know, we came out on top.
All right, let's take a look at the game winner. Doug, it came off your foot in the first minute of the second half. Here you are taking the pass right here after the block. Why don't you describe what's going on?
Luck.
You just bammed it. That's it.
There's luck.
Bob, did it look as though the keeper misplayed it at all, or would it just have a lot of spin?
It might have been moving. I think Doug can tell us. He was right behind it. I don't know if it went straight in, but it just was barely under the bar. Was it moving, knuckling?
A little bit. It was just the ball was wet. The keeper really couldn't hold on to it. It was a really slippery game, and the ball just went in.
All right, congratulations, you guys. Doug, Rick, congratulations, state champs. We'll let you get going. We'll bring your coach in right here. Ron Rowden, come on in. Come on in. We got everybody. Fellas, you can take off. Let the coaches come in. All right, congratulations, Coach.
Thank you. It's great to win 2 in a row.
You got a lot of happy K-Hawks here, boy, I tell you.
Yeah, it's a long drive. Our fans have been great this year. The students, the parents, better reception than last year, and they kept us again in a tight match.
Bob, you got a couple of questions for Rick?
Well, I know how you felt when you sat down Hanson after the red card yesterday. This had to be a game that you didn't really want to be a part of toward the end, huh?
Yeah, it was. They learned yesterday that we can't open our mouth. We have to play our game, and it showed this game. Evanston came out a little frustrated, and guys got carded. But Coach Gene Briggs did a nice job with guys on injuries that were getting frustrated. It's been a great situation all year. We've kept them under control. Coach Cosberg's done a great job with them at the hotel, keeping them in the line. And when they come out to the field, they're ready to play under control.
All right, why don't you introduce both coaches and let them say a word.
Hey, this is Coach Andy Cosberg. He's been with us in all the 4 years I've been part of K-Hawks, and this is Coach Gene Briggs, JV coach.
All right, congratulations to both of you. What happened toward the end? And we can say it now, it's over, the game is decided. What did you see on that ball that Evanston claimed went in, or at least went off Sean's hand?
I saw Sean moving into the play, and the ball went up and hit some part in him as the ball here comes flying. That's a shot with Doug Hartman. But the ball came at a good hard pace.
Yeah, that's the one
It's going to come right now.
Went off the crossbar.
Shane's going to turn in front, and at that point, that's where it hit him in the hand. He was just trying to work his balance. It hit him in the hand, and our keeper dove on it. The referee was on the far side of the field and could not see that play happen.
It really looked as though he was just in a bad position. He had his hands out, which is not in a proper position, but his hands were out before the ball came at him. I think even if the ref did see that, he might have interpreted that his hands were already out and he hadn't reached out to get.
Well, let's see, because a lot of Evanston folks are pretty upset, but it goes into the books. Congratulations, it's 2 in a row.
That's great, and I appreciate your coverage, and we're going to be back again and try to get a third one next year.
All right, you heard it first here. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in just a minute. We'll return to Naperville North High School. Could another downstate dynasty be a-borning? Collinsville, its second state championship in a row in boys soccer, 2-1 over Evanston's Wildcats. To Coach Ron Rowden, our congratulations. To Evanston coach Tom Camilla, he's got to be feeling some frustration because of the controversial calls.
Frustration because it's his last game as Evanston coach. Controversial because of the last minute of play, maybe a goal, maybe a handball, but it's over for him at this point. But he's got to be proud of the boys.
Right, and the fact is, you cannot have a team lose its cool, especially in a critical situation like that. I guess everybody learned something tonight.
I think so. But it was a good game for Collinsville to win. They did what they needed to.
Well, they won their second straight, so our congratulations. It'll be a long but a very happy bus ride home for the K-Hawks of Collinsville. Bob, good to see you again. We'll be back here next year. Our thanks to the Illinois High School Association, H. David Fry, the IHSA Executive Director, Marty Hickman, Assistant Executive Director here on site, for making this championship event possible. We'd also like to thank Neil McCauley and Dr. David Bucher of Naperville North High School for their cooperation in the coordination of this championship. Tonight's game was produced and directed by Jim Corno Jr., graphics coordinator Devin Lewandowski, and remote facilities provided by Trio Video of Chicago. Sports Channel executive producer tonight, Greg Bowman. For Bob Dulaski, I'm Mike Lederman saying so long from Naperville North. Once again, the final score, state champion Collinsville K-Hawks 2, the Evanston Wildcats 1. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Channel.